Okay, good evening to our Professor Salahuddin and my fellow student. We are from Group 6 to present the group project presentation. So the title of our group project is The Impact of Government Debt on Private Investment. My name is Devindran, son of Murthy, metric number 267658. Okay, I will start the presentation with background of the study. In recent decades, Malaysia has become a high-performing emerging economy in terms of economic growth. The amount of government debt in Malaysia has risen considerably over the years. The global financial crisis impacted the Malaysian economy in the mid-1980s and subsequently the debt from 43% in 1980 to 1.7% in 1987. The GDP ratio has risen exponentially. This large rise in 2009 was the result of substantial discretionary fiscal stimulus and significant reduction in oil prices during the global financial crisis. In 2015, the ratio of government debt to GDP reached 53.8% from 1970 to 2015, with an average of 47%. Several research studies have shown that this level is known as an intermediate level. Low debt is classified as debt below 30% of GDP, while high debt is defined as above 90% of GDP. This paper aims to discuss the theoretical and empirical result of the issue of whether the growing trend of government debt has no significant influence on Malaysia's economic growth. So I will pass the presentation to Ms. Hemarubini.
Thank you, Devendran. So I am Emma Rubini. My metric number is 267679. So for today's presentations, I would like to talk about objective of the study. First objective is the finding of this study will provide valuable input to local officials as to their role in monitoring the state of government debt. It means that this finding of this study, it will monitor or guide the state of government debt to making a decision in the future. For the second objective is to analysis the economic effect of government debt in Malaysia in order to provide out or sample evidence in the relevance work. The third objective is the main of our paper is to contribute to the debates on the relationship between government debt and economic development. So this relationship between government debt and economic development is actually such as human capital, private investment, and also for the GDP. I will pass to Sugandhi.
A very good day to Dr. Salahuddin. My name is Suganti Adapupa Kupusami. My metric number is 267686. So today I want to present about research methodology part. So this research is to achieve the aim of whether there is an impact of government debt on private investment sector and how the model works. Or we can say that this research is to determine the relationship between government debt and economic development. So we take the data from the year between 1988 until 2017, which is 30 years. The data we took is related to these studies from internet resources and some of them from journals. There are two variables. First is dependent variable and second is independent variable. So for this research, our dependent variable is private investment. Our independent variable is government debt, GDP, and human capital. Next.
Okay, second we'll explain about descriptive and descriptive statistics. So this descriptive statistic is shows that GDP is more higher than government debt, human capital, and private investment. So for mean is 157.175. For median is 105.53. For mode there is no value, and for standard deviation is 103.03, 6 at 7 at 9. For the correlation test, GDP has the weak negative correlation, which is negative 0.4651. For the government debt, there is no correlation value on government debt because the value is 0.0390 because it is equal to 0. For human capital, it has a negative strong correlation. The government data debt more significant compared to GDP and human capital. Next.
Thank you, Hema. So this is the finding of the linear regression analysis, interpretation of linear regression model. So we use Stata software to get this output. Next. Next. So for previous. Okay, for multiple regression, interpretation the result of R square and adjusted R square and RSS. For R square, we get 0.7338, which means 73.38%. The rest of it is 26.62 percentage. A variation of 26.62 percentage from regression can be explained by the error term. So adjusted R2 is R square is we get 0.7031, which is 73.31 percentage. 29.69% of significant independent variable not included in this model. For RSS, we get 409.388374. These we took directly from the output that we get from the Stata software. Private investment from estimated regression equation is 409.388374 out of 1537.98004. RSS take up to 26.62% of TSS, since the RSS only take up to 26.62 percentage. The model seems to really fit the data. Next. So for the F test, the value of Fs is equal to 23.89. So after view the F test table, we get Fc value, which is 2.98. We took it by using the formula, which is k minus 1 and n minus k. So k minus 1 is equal to 3 and n minus k is equal to 26. So when we find at the table, we get 29.98. So the value for fx and fc is fs is greater than fc. So reject HO. When fs is greater than fc, we have to reject H null, and this f test is statistically significant at 5% level of significance. Next, we go to t-test. When we go to t-test, the value we get from the t-table is 1.705, significant in 5 percentage significance level. So the t-test for GDP is 5.57, and we get the t critical value is 1.706. So t statistic is greater than t critical. If it is greater, we have to reject H null. Next, when we come to government debt, we get negative 0.86, and T critical is 1.706. When T statistic is less than T critical, test critical, we have to accept the H1, H null. So after the third variable is human capital. Human capital is the value for t statistic is negative 7.10, and the critical value is 1.706, less than t statistic is less than critical test. So we have to accept the HNAR. That's all from me. That's all from our group. Thank you so much, Doctor.